My Go XLR crashed. I think I should be good now. Can you hear me? Mic test 1 2 1 2. I think we're good. Happy Friday. I tried to speak and nothing was happening. Okay. We're here. This is unexpected, impromptu. I didn't have it up. Notification probably didn't go out. So I'll probably what's up, Teen King? Thanks for stopping back on by. So I'll probably be reading this by myself. Weird. Hopefully you can hear me. Hold on. Is the audio sync good? Are the words not synced up to the video? Because with it crashing like that, I have a feeling that it's not good. I do. I have a feeling that it's not good. Suspicious activity. All good. Okay. Cool. All right. If you guys didn't see, we got confirmation of Deku's new costume color being the dark green, and instead of having the white lines, he's got the yellow lines. I think he looks kind of drippy. I think it looks nice. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I'm pulling up the chapter. I'm not going to waste time. Where would Deku? Where would Deku? Where would Deku? Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right, it's the title. Unread. Oh, no. He's going to turn her down. I shouldn't have read the title. Ah. All right. Deep breath. Izuku Midoriya was the 9th wielder of One for All. And the key to this particular battle is this going to be like, and of all the things that he's sidetracked by, it's a girl's love for him. That's crazy. All right. Since the advent of the extraordinary one, hold on. Since the advent of the extraordinary, One for All had been the only power in Japan. No, in the entire world that the shadowy mastermind All for One obsessed over. And now, this boy was the vessel for that very power. He had encountered Himiko Toga a number of times by this point, but since she had never come right out and expressed her affections in words, he'd never realized the way she felt about him. Interesting little opening monologue by the narrator. Did you say boyfriend? I love it. Oh, this is gonna be great animated. They give you this opening monologue by the narrator, and then you turn the page and it's Deku. Deku screaming at the top of his lungs because for all his triumphs, he was still just a damn nerd. That's great. That's incredible. I love that. I love that so much. Tomorrow there's going to be more news about season 6, and next week a key visual for it, and also a color. Ooh, all of my hero attention. All right, what are you talking about? I've loved you since the moment I first saw you. You were covered in blood, and you looked just like my first crush. They are addressing it. You're so cool, Izuku. That face. I want to be you. So let me suck some blood. That face. Boyfriend? Like a guy you take to the amusement park for a date? Who holds hands with you? Who split a creep with? Oh, man. For turning me into someone else. For me, excuse me. People were saying that Bakugo was narrating it because of the nerd. That would be, I want to hear that so bad. For me, turning into someone else is all about love. It's the only way I can feel satisfied. All right. Second wave incoming, watch out. All right. Tell me, hero. What do you want to do to me? Okay, Toga. What do you want to do to me? Another attack's coming. I don't know. She can cloak her own presence. If I lose her in this chaotic battle, she'll be one step ahead. Okay. I always wanted to be strong like All Might. So I get how you feel, Toga. Like how trying to be like someone else can feel fulfilling. She doesn't trigger my danger sense, so in a way, this is the worst matchup I could ask for, yes. But I can't imagine wanting to share the same heart and mind as him. And I would never want to hurt someone I love. Oh, there's that look. There's that look. There's that look. There's that look. She's so hard to read when she gives this look. Why can't you just be normal? Act like a normal little girl. How sad. If you're gonna live as you please, and you also have to live with the consequences. Yep. That look. Izuku, you're just like Ochako. And just like my mom and dad. Thoughts of Himiko Toga popped into my head. You think that heroes and those they protect are the only ones who count as real people. Oh, is it really? And I need to go back and look at that. So people like you and I are destined to remain apart. She looked so sad. Yep. Did the same thing. I don't necessarily say it's a mistake. She's just a hard individual to try to understand. Not so fast, Himiko Toga. She is zipping around. Ever since we met that day, I've been thinking hard about you. Oh, you haven't been on my mind. Not anymore. I thought maybe I had a shot with Izuku, but nope. I'm all over that now. Oof. Yep. The world rejected me, so I reject the world. Dude, she is freaking... Oh, I was like, who is that? It's Toga. Ochako. It's really sad. Mount Lady. I was like, who is that? Whose cheeks is in the frame? Mount Lady. I was so sure you'd understand me. After all, you and I both fell for the same slap. It's Mount Lady. No, that's Sue. Is it Sue or is it Mount Lady? I'm not going over to the next panel until I figure this out. Because I'm looking at the feet, and the feet kind of look like Sue's feet. But this kind of looks like Mount Lady's fit. Noga knives got thrust thrown in. That's what that was. I was like, what was this? Right here. Those are... That's crazy. We're gonna have to look back at this chapter while like not trying to read it. So that was Sue, okay. Sue, I mean, Froppy. Okay. She kicked her hard too. Are you hurt? Nah, just a scratch, but that's enough, right? Better get that. Yeah, my blood's on it. She's the least predictable of our opponents. So we warped her to an isolated island Too bad that plan backfired. So that was the plan to get away from everybody. Suyu. Get going, Deku. Chatting about romance here is the last thing you need to be doing. All right. We'll deal with Himiko Toga as planned. Gravity has gone up against her more times than anyone, so she'll take the lead here. I was. And we'll get the job done. Deku, get Shigaraki. I guess the both of us are kind of weird. Gotcha. Good luck. I feel this feels harrowing. Look at Toga's knife thingies, man. It's so hard to live being me, even though I'm full of all this love. Go now. That boy's taking off. Dang, why we had to end right there? Why we had to end right there? I'm going back to the beginning. Hold on, let me go back to the beginning. This opening monologue was incredible. Really incredible. That's such a flimsy in-canon reasoning for having Uraraka fight Toga, but I ain't mad at it. No, I'm not. I'm not mad at it either. It makes sense though. It does make sense. The fact that Ochako is the only individual that has fought her multiple times and has lived to tell about it. So it's like if you could do it once, you can do it again. But it's that kind of thinking that gets someone killed. Am I off in that thinking? It's usually that line of thinking of you handle it because you've always handled it before. That's usually what either gets you hurt or killed. Because you're going to go in there expecting one thing and something else is going to happen and you're not going to be prepared for that. Because it's completely out of the realm of possibility, i.e. using twice as quirk that would get you killed. Maybe if it was someone else that had no experience fighting Toga, they wouldn't know what to expect. So nothing would catch them off guard. Therefore, they might be able to respond better. For Ochako, dude, Toga using twice his quirk is gonna come so far out. It would come so far out of left field for everyone else because twice his quirk is overpowered. But for Ochako, I don't think that's in the scope of Himiko Toga. That would be that would be like overloading in a sense. It'd be like, wait, huh? Things would be happening too fast. I don't see good things coming from this. I don't see good things coming from this. I do not. All right. I want to look at some of these panels to try to catch some stuff that I was missing. So, second wave incoming. These are more Nomu flying in. Zoom in. All the fighting in the background. This is a world where people can shoot lasers out of their eyes and breathe underwater. Every option would be on the table for me. Yes, every option would be on the table. But Ochako's 16. Fighting against this chick that just professed the love to the boy that she likes. Something's gonna blindside her. She is going to get blindsided by something in this fight. Whether it be twice as quirk is the obvious. Something's gonna blindside her. What is it? I don't know, but something is going to blindside her. That talk of her and Deku talking up on that mountain, it felt like proverbial flags was getting placed ever so slightly into them. It really felt like it. None of this feels good. I'm talking about for the team who planned this whole operation. I'm with you on that. Like, you would have to think of everything. You would have to think of legit everything. You would think, hold on, this is something if all of the best minds that you have available in Japan on the hero side were coming together and having this conversation about the individuals that are in play and their abilities and what they possibly could be doing, we're obviously going to be looking back into the past missions that have happened. Because as a reader, whenever we got to the panel of Toga having twice his blood, it was a complete shock. For me, I'll speak for myself, it was a complete shock. Like, oh my goodness, she has twice his blood. From the outside looking in, you could be like, eventually you could get to that thought. But in universe, do you think that one person could have gotten to the chain of thought of what if they have, do you think, I don't know. Do you think someone would have gotten to the point of thinking, what if they have the blood of passed on users, or what if they have the quirks of their members that have passed on? I figure at least one person possibly could have brought it up as an idea. Maybe they were shot down, maybe not. But I would like to think that if they had a week, if we're being honest, they had a week to try to really plan this operation as we see it. They were already planning something, but to these specifics, they had a week. Someone would, I would like to think that one individual could have been like, what if they have the quirks of passed on users? I would like to think that. But I'm sitting here being like, I don't know if I would have thought about that. But then again, I know more than they do in universe. I don't know. What's up, Madman? I don't know. All right. I'm gonna try to go panel by panel just so I'm following exactly what happens. Yeah, Togo, she does have Ochiko's blood. Something's gonna catch her off guard. It's gonna happen. Yeah, because this is Ochiko's mind. This panel on the top of 5, that's Ochiko echoing it back. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with Deku's answer. But it's always the thing of whenever when you say something, it's like you can say the most thoughtful thing ever, but once you say but, you kind of negate everything. So it's like when Deku says all this, I always want to be All Might, so I get how you feel, trying to be someone all that stuff, and then he says but, and it's like screw everything else I just said. This is how I really feel. I don't see nothing wrong with Deku's answer. We were playing around with the idea of what if Deku lied to her, but there was no way I could have seen him doing that. So he was being honest. But it's kind of this is this is the thing that gets me about Toga, because Toga is so weird. Toga just can't have it's not in her to just have these conversations. She always tries to have these conversations in the midst of battle while she's trying to slice open the person that she's talking to. It's I have so many other things to worry about than trying to answer your question. You're trying to cut me open because you love me while making me answer this existential crisis that you're having. All in the meanwhile, I'm trying to get back to Shigaraki so that you guys don't destroy all of Japan and the world possibly. It's you're asking me all of this stuff. So it's yes. In his answer, It's like maybe you could have tried to see her point of view, but in all reality, do we have time? Like, maybe if you would have just come to me, like how Shigaraki pulled up on Deku at the mall, and they sat there and they had a way they talked to each other while essentially Shigaraki had a gun to his head, and they had the chance to talk back and forth. Like, maybe if you pulled up on me and we had a chance to talk, maybe I could have heard your point of view, because it's like he says this and then she gives him the same look that she gave the Ochiko, and she's just like, you're just like everyone else, blah 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 blah, like you this and you this and you this, and now I'm over it, and now I'm actually like trying to like, now I'm actually after you now. And it's like, maybe if we could have just had this conversation normally, maybe I might have seen where you're coming from. But right now, I really don't know you, and all I know is that you're trying to cut me open. I know nothing about you. So it's one of those things where it's just like, because she's such a complicated and she's such a troubled individual, like it's like, no matter how hard she tries, she can't have a normal relation, like not a normal relationship. She can't even have normal conversations. Like, I feel like Toga is a legit, like her problems could just be solved with conversation. Just like proper communication could help her out a lot. But she's been through so much already. That ship almost has sailed. Yeah, it's one of these things. It's just proper communication would do wonders. But she's been so like, all of the whole like suppress yourself, and that's crazy. And it's kind of like being told, it's like, this is how I am, and you're telling me it's wrong. You're telling me to force myself, and then I explode and kill this kid. Like, maybe if we would have like done things a better way, we could have helped this situation out. People are confused about the color of the new costume, saying like green and white, or green and brown, or black and brown. No, it's green and yellow. It's green and yellow. It's yellow to match the Gran Torino cape. It's green and yellow. It's hard to tell because it's black shading over everything, but it's green and yellow. It's matching Gran Torino's cape. Green and yellow with the gauntlets being red. That's what it is. This is just an awkward, not awkward, but it's not lit good enough. It's not lit good. It's green and yellow. It feels like a more muted version, a muted color of the cape. Toga's a super threat. I can see some Dexter called someone dying in like the next 3 to 5 chapters. I don't want it to be someone on this battlefield is dying. Someone on this battlefield is dying. Either Sue or Ochiko. One of them, if they're not going to be dead, they're gonna almost die. It's one of the two of them is gonna bite the dust. Especially if Deku's actually getting away, like if he actually gets away from this battlefield and nothing like impedes him, 100% one of them is going. There's no way it doesn't happen. I don't think Deku's gonna leave that easy. Like, who else is? who else is going to be there to stop him? I could see him. No. The only I don't know. From thinking from the class battle, Deku's gonna leave. I was getting ready to say Deku might not leave, but from the class battle, he's learned how to trust Ochako and he's learning how to trust other people. So I can see him leaving. It's just who's gonna stop him. And is Deku about to run so fast he's gonna run on water? Like who legit's gonna stop him? They specified earlier in this chapter that they solely sent Toga here. Like, there's a bunch of like jobber villains and heroes that are here fighting in the background, but like this whole plan was for Toga. We're gonna separate her and isolate her from everyone because she is a problem. I do love that Deku I love that Deku kind of realized it took him a second. And he's just like, oh, dang it. I did it too. But, okay, I see the cut on her. So that means, was Deku late in trying to save her? He was late. Yeah. Just trying to look at all these panels. I guess Sue might die because she was originally going to die in the USJ. Yep. It's either going to be Sue or Ochako, and I don't see Ochako dying. Not right here. So Sue going to bite the dust. That's going to be sad. I don't want it to happen. Yeah, he did black whip her, but I think he might have been too late. Who knows how bad the damage could have been. She might have been able to get a deep blow before he was able to like constrict and pull, because the black whip wrapped around her and it snaked up her arm. So it's making me feel that Deku disarmed her at the same moment that Sue kicked. All right, hold on. What is zooming in on 11? She cut black whip. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, she was like, there, I cut it. She cut black whip. Like black whip was wrapped around her and she took the knife and cut it. You stupid Nomu jumping around. This panel on 12 kind of reflects a little bit of the Dark Deku stuff, just like how it's staged. Dabi was able to burn Black Whip in the first battle too, was he? Cool. Hold on, I'll pull it back up on the screen. She cut it. She literally says, there, I cut it. She cut it. Hold on. Right here. she cut it. Because she has the knife here, and then you have this here. That's like, you see this one right here. That one's right there. This one's right here. The knife's right there. She cut it. So hard to live being me, even though I'm full of all this love. I was thinking, like, you think she's talking about her own blood in that moment right there? But also, if you look right here, is this knife dripping blood, or is this knife broken? This one. And if that knife is broken, who broke it? That one, no, this one's broken too. When did these happen in this chapter? I'm trying to think. Next chapter could be All for One or Die, but I think so. I think we're gonna cut away from this, unless Hori really wants to just do it next week. I think the broken ones came from right here, because Deku popped that one and it flew back, and he popped that one too. Those are the two that might be broken. Yeah, those are the two that are broken. They're the two that Deku hit. Funny enough, Deku used a Froppy style move where he shot Black Whip out of his mouth to save Shoto from Dabi. Then Dabi burned Black. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I was trying to think where it was. It was that moment. Okay. Yeah, Deku, he broke them on page 8 right here. He broke them right here. Popped it right there. These two right here. Because it's like all these are flying back and stuff. They're all flying back. He hit him right there. Stuttering, goodness gracious. All right. And you know what's crazy with Toga is the way she's acting in this chapter, right? Especially this stuff right here, where she's like, oh, you haven't been on my mind, not anymore. Like, I thought maybe I had a shot. I'm over that now. The world rejected me, so I reject the world. And regardless of how, like, she might be feeling all these feelings, sure, but I think these is just like her, like, she's like popping off right now. But we know that she is in her head from that chapter a couple of chapters ago. Like, you know, like these are things that constantly like reverberate probably in her head. And this isn't something like she's just gonna get over like that. It's not. Like, she's trying to make it feel like she just kind of makes it feel like I'm done now, but she's not. She's not. As I feel like communication would do Toga's character, like it would just do her so well. But because of everything she's been through, communication is not something that she's gonna ever possibly do good. Communication would be like more than the fighting, more than like just talk. Like, can we sit down and talk without you trying to cut my throat and get my blood? Is that possible? Can we talk? We could possibly sort through some of this. Is there a happy medium? Like, you love me so much, can I just give you my blood? Or does the love come from you taking the blood from me? Like, do you have to open, like, it's like, do you have to open me up and take it yourself in order to feel love? What if I just gave it to you? Would that satiate you? Would you be fine? Is that something that's possible? Like, could there have been a moment, kind of like in a lot of like Tokyo Ghoul or a bunch of like vampire series where like vampires, they stop like attacking people just out in the streets to get their fill of blood. Like, I know in Tokyo Ghoul, they'll go to a place where a lot of people commit suicide at, take the bodies and harvest them, or an underground like like people like donate, like all that stuff, like getting blood donated and all that stuff. Like, could that work for Toga? Could Toga have that from the individual that she loves and then possibly build a relationship on top of that? Could that be a thing? Is she so twisted in the way how she needs to like get, like she needs to do it herself and needs to be like this primal attack because it's been suppressed? There's so like therapy would do her well. Therapy would really do her well. And she's just stuck in this world where she just has to fight. I saw someone say that Toga is posing like Deku during his rogue. Oh wow. When he embodied All Might's mindset, Toga's not willing to change where Yue was able to bring Deku back. You know what? It is similar to that. It is kind of similar to that with all the tendrils and the hunched over posture. And she's so stuck on this chain of. That's a good call out. That is a good comparison. Wow. That is a really good comparison. Holy crap. I like that. I do like that. Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. All right, so this on her leg this is where she keeps her blood at, right? This is where she keeps her blood, correct? I don't remember like 100%. But if that is, she has 2 vials left, and one of those is Twice's. So who's the other one that she has? I do not see Toga having a happy ending, unfortunately. I want her to, but it's tough. If this wasn't in Weekly Shonen Jump, Sue would die and Ochako would kill Toga because Toga killed Sue. And Ochako would be like badly wounded. That's what would happen here. But I don't think that's going to happen. Surely, we're going to have another hero have to confront the fact that they need to kill. I think that's going to be Deku. There's no way we only have that with Hawks. Like Hawks being the only individual that has killed a hero, killed a villain when he necessarily didn't want to. Like he didn't want to kill Twice, but Twice needed to die. So I feel like another hero has to come to that moment of I don't want to kill, but I have to. Outside of Deku, because I think Deku might end up in that situation where like there's no way you have Gran Torino say that line and you don't like follow through with it. Like Deku doesn't want to kill. He doesn't want to be a killer. He wants to be a hero. But man, oh man, like I think he has to come to the point where saving Shigaraki is removing him from this situation, and killing him is the way to go. Deku's saying he once thought the same as Toga, as Deku wanted to be exactly like All Might and beyond him. Yes, yeah, like killing 100%. There are some individuals that cannot get talk no jutsu. Like you cannot talk to everyone. Like no, like every single person cannot have a sit down conversation, see the error of their ways and change. Some of these people, they want to do this. They are actively doing this. They're not doing this against their will. Like they want to do this. I want to be this way. This is who I am. There's no amount of talking that you can do to me that's going to change the fact that I want to take you out. So at that point, do you do you try to capture them in the efforts, or in the, what word do I use to connect that? Do we capture him and then hope that he doesn't escape? Right? Is that something that we do? We hope that he doesn't escape? Huh? Is that a possibility? No, I wouldn't. That's not how I would be. No, especially with someone on the level of Shigaraki. We've seen what All For One could do. All For One planned all this inside of a jail cell. So I'm not about to sit here and try to capture Shigaraki and put him in a Tartarus-like prison so that in 5 years he could break out and cause havoc again. No. I think this is situations where it's just like, by any means necessary, we need to eliminate this guy. We can't allow him to stay around here, because nothing will never be truly safe. One, you'll never be truly safe anyways. But we'll never be truly safe if this guy is still drawing breath somewhere. No way. No way at all. So it's like sometimes someone needs to be taken out in order for you to actually properly save them. Because if there is something, like if they truly can't get over something, like taking that option away from them could be the best thing for them. Dabi's not getting saved, his entire character is not swayable. I hear that. I 100% agree with you, but for some reason I can see like as he's dying, he has a moment of not even reconciliation, but a moment of acceptance with his whole family. I can see that moment happening, him dying. Like he physically can't, like he's physically on his way out. If his skin is any representation of it, it's something that I didn't recognize. Someone pointed it out a couple of weeks ago. But when we first seen Dabi, like he had all the burn marks on him, but he had like his skin was like stapled to him, and he had a lot more. But if you look back to the chapter before they were warped away, if you look at Dabi, he has almost no skin on his body anymore, and which means that he's pretty much close to death, because I think the skin is it's a identifier. It's symbolic of how much time he has left and how much possibly of the Toya that was inside of there is left still. And once it's possibly all gone, he's going to die. So he's almost, he has like a thin strip of flesh across his chest, and before he had skin on his face. Like it was like the skin was like pierced or stapled to his skin, and then that was stapled to this, and now none of that is there anymore. It's almost all gone. So he's on his way out. I don't think there's a way for him to actually survive this. Yeah, even if you try to save Toga, society will not accept her. No. If this is Naruto, we just give him pardons and never tell anybody. We need a heart-to-heart between Toya and Rei or Natsuo. I would love it. Horikoshi also said that he stopped feeling hungry, and he thinks he's slowly becoming the perfect form of life. In the author comments of this week, really? Oh wait, you're talking about Horikoshi himself has said that. I was like, I thought you were talking about like Dabi. I was like, where does that take us? But Hori's probably talking about himself, that he stopped feeling hungry, and that he thinks he's slowly becoming the perfect form of life. Yeah. Shiggy also became the perfect form of life. Horikoshi Shiggy, yeah. I forgot which character Hori said he was. I think Deku's based mostly off of Hori, because I think Hori has daddy issues. That's why Deku's dad isn't around. Art has been incredible. No shock though. No, art has been, it's something where it's like not even thinking about it. Art has been great. Art has been really good. It's always good. It's always good. These panels of Toga in the water, really good. That face Toga makes always like creeps me out. I see Toga and I just see someone. It's weird. I see Toga and I see someone like legit a therapist and someone to watch her so she doesn't go crazy and try to kill the therapist. Would do her some good if she's actually able to just talk through her feelings and not try to kill instantly. Good chapter though, really good chapter. I really liked it. I think that's all I got. I don't think there's anything else that I might have missed. Do I see the series continuing past My Hero? I don't have a solid answer for that. One second. I don't have a solid answer for that. A couple of weeks ago, all the villains need therapists, you're right. A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting here like, if done correctly, I wouldn't mind either. If done correctly, and My Hero Academia is like the finale of this series, and it wraps up good, I'm perfectly fine with it not continuing. But if if this wraps up good and it segues itself to have a sequel series following these kids as they're a little bit older, possibly, I'm perfectly fine with that. I wouldn't mind either. I think as I'm growing older, not that old, but as I get older, I'm moving further and further away from extremely long forms of telling a story. I'm more so enjoying we get in, we have the story we want to tell, we tell it in a five-year time span, and we get out of here. I'm cool with that. I'm past the 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Like I'm kind of getting over it because it's taking so long. Like I'm at the point for me personally where it's like, as I'm reading a series, I want to grow alongside of the characters that I'm reading. I don't want to be like some series. I can't think of a series that's done this. I can't 100% say One Piece because I don't know the specifics of One Piece to say this, but like if I use Dragon Ball for an example, it's like you watch Goku grow up. Like you're introduced to Goku as a baby, but when he's 12, and currently in Dragon Ball Super, whether you like it or dislike it, he's like close to being a 50-year-old man. So you were able to watch him grow up. You watched him grow up. You watched him get taller. You watched him make friends. You watched him get married, have kids, die, come back. You watched them do all of these things. So it's like, I don't mind that because eventually we're gonna get to a point where more stuff is gonna happen. But just from the outside looking in regards to like a One Piece where it's in universe, it has not been long since the start of the series. Like we're like in universe, if I had to I can't even take a stab at it because I'm so unfamiliar with One Piece, but it hasn't been more than 10 years in universe, but the series has been serialized for like the last 20 to 25 years, something obscene, like something absurd as like that. Like how long has One Piece been in serialization? Since the 90s, correct? That's a long time for not a lot of time in universe to have passed. Oh yeah, do you have any guesses as to who's narrating at the start of the chapter? People are thinking it's Bakugo because of the nerd comment. It could be. I would say it'd be cool if Bakugo was the narrator of this entire series, but we know Deku. Well, from the anime, we know that Deku's the one that's narrating everything. And from the first chapter, we know that Deku's narrating everything. I think it would have been cool. It would have been cool if it could have been like a Bakugo narrating the whole thing. It's cool. 4 years max. I think that's crazy to me. It's like I'm not knocking One Piece, but I think I'm not knocking One Piece, but I think it's absolutely nuts that the series has been in serialization since the 90s, and in universe it has only been a couple of years. That seemed, and it's a weekly that hasn't gone on, like it hasn't gone on like super mega long hiatuses like Hunter x Hunter, where it's been missing for a year or missing for 2 years or missing for 5 years. It's been a weekly, almost very consistent for the last 20 years, and you've only made it 3, 4, 5 years in universe. That's nuts to me. I think that's crazy. Not knocking it, but just to me, from the outside looking in, that seems crazy. So it's like, I say all that to say, I would prefer if it's interesting because the narration uses the term like was. Yeah, I would like to see what the Japanese wording was, because this could be like translation. I would like to see what the actual, like, if someone knows, can actually translate. I would like to know what the actual wording was. If it was past tense, I don't even know. Is past tense has to be a thing in Japanese. If it was past tense, implying that this could have been like this could be after something, like he was gone or something. This could just be like a narrator moment where it's just like the narrator's like outside of the story, like sitting with us, and it's like Izuku Midoriya. Like I can hear like the Hunter x Hunter narrator like reading this and being like, Izuku Midoriya was the 9th wielder and he was key for this battle and this and this and this, and then bang, it's just like he's still a nerd, and then we go back into the series. I can see it being something like comedic like that, where it's just like a joke and not necessarily like a character like a Deku or a Bakugo narrating it, being like, yeah, that one time with X, Y, and Z and blah 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 blah. It could be that, or it could be something else. Next chapter is 9 days later. Next chapter for this? For My Hero or for One Piece? If it's next chapter is 9 days later for My Hero, that means we're skipping all this. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know anymore. I can hear the narrator from Yu Yu Hakusho like reading this. What do you want to do? Hold on. For me, turning into someone else is all about love. It's the only way I can feel satisfied. Okay. Tell me, hero, what do you want to do to me? Deku says, I don't know. And then he just, am I missing something with like the translation? I'm really rereading it. She asks, what do you want to do to me? And Deku says, I don't know. And then Deku starts talking about like, I wanted to be strong, like so I get how you feel. But I don't know. That feels weird. Maybe I'm not looking at it the right way. The US translator from My Hero said that it's just how the series used the past tense narration for the moment. Gotcha. Okay. Watch it be Mineta. Mineta's Deku's biggest fan. I could see him leading the Deku fan brigade down the line. Well, outside of like Koda and Eri, like Mina is like his biggest fan. I might be just looking at it the wrong way. Deku just ran away. He no simp. I'm not gonna go on social media and see what people are talking about with Deku basically doing the same thing that Ochako did. I do remember some stuff was floated to me about goodness gracious. About back during the war when Ochako and Toga had their altercation, and with Ochako's response that she failed as a hero and trying to understand what Toga was talking about, and that like that was like something like a mistake that Ochako made, and I'm wondering how people are gonna feel about the fact that the answer that Deku gave in Toga's brain echoes the same sentiment that Ochako did. So it should be like they're possibly going to feel the same exact way they felt like Deku dropped the ball at being a hero because he couldn't see through what Toga was saying. And it's just like I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know how I feel about, I don't think that they failed Toga. I think this is all a big miscommunication because Toga has no communication skills. Is it my fault because I didn't understand you when you don't know how to express yourself? It's like, I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you. You're a bad guy that we encounter every now and again. And when we cross paths, something wonky always happens. I think both responses were from a perspective that Toga's not comfortable with. Yeah, but the whole thing is that we don't, like, it's like all we know about Toga is that Toga is a serial killer. I'm thinking from the hero's point of view, from their point of view. One, she's tried to kill us more than one occasion. Two, when we look into her backstory, we know that she killed some boy. Did she kill him? Or did she just mortally wound him? Like, I don't remember if she killed him or not. She cut this boy open. Like, all we know is like what we're told of her. And with Toga, she's just like, I have a truth. And she won't say what her, like, she won't say that. She just comes in and asks you a question and then gets mad when she doesn't get the answer she wants. Yeah, so it's like you're asking me something and then I'm immediately it's like in your brain, judge, jury, and executioner. I said the wrong thing. It's over now. And it's like, I understand because of her traumas why she would do that. But then again, it's like, we're in the middle of a fight. Like, literally, the fate of Japan and possibly the world is on the line if I lose to you. I don't necessarily have the time to have this conversation, and I don't have the adequate information to even answer you. Like, you're asking me this and you're making swipes at my neck and I'm moving, being like, you know what? Like, it's like, yes, I understand. Like, maybe Deku could have said something else, but why should he have said anything else? Like, what information does he have outside of the conversation he had with Ochako about something else? It's like it's the whole thing is that Ochako said, I had a conversation with Toga. I said this and she looked at me sad. Even with Ochako, she doesn't know where Toga's coming from. So it wasn't until Deku got the look where he's just like, oh snap, this is what she's talking about. Too late now. Now it's too late. It's too like now. Oh, we can't have this. Like at this point, if we were to just stop right now, if everyone was to stop fighting right now, Deku would probably be able to say something that would rock her to her core, because he has perspective now. He heard her. He heard what she said. He's seen the look. He has the reference from Ochako, what she said, and the things that she brought up to Deku in their conversation. And he could 100%. I believe in Deku that much. He would be able to say something that would absolutely, possibly make a breakthrough for Toga. But that's not going to happen because she's not hearing it anymore. You said, oh, you're just like her. You're just like my parents. You're just like everyone else. It's kind of like, screw you. Now I don't care anymore. And she cares a lot. That's what's crazy. And she cares a lot, but it's too late now. She feels like she's been wronged by him now. Some people are saying that this war has a weaker beginning than the previous, and there hasn't been a lot of action, saying that not a lot has happened, like they're just talking, and that the tension is low. Yeah, because the first one was a surprise attack. It was a sneak attack. Right? It's a sneak attack. That's why it's a sneak. Like, it's like, oh, we got the jump on you, bang bang, we trying to take you out. That's what it was. It was a preemptive strike. Now we had the chance. Both sides had the chance to come up with game plans and to battle. And now that we're battling, these ideals are coming together, and we're going to talk our way through it. And then things are going to get crazy once the talking stops. That's the whole thing. Once the talking stops, then it's going to get crazy. I prefer both. Like, I don't need the unga bunga go crazy action all the time. I kind of like this back and forth because all these characters have gone through so much since the last time they've fought. So it's like they got a lot of stuff to get out, and each one of these like interactions are personally charged. Like Toga's relationships that she's formed with Ochako and Sue and Deku, that's a ball of emotions that needs to be, they're gonna fight and they're gonna talk it through. Same thing with Shoto and Dabi. So it's all of these different pieces. There's so many different connections that have been built through the whole series, where I honestly believe 100% it would be a waste of all of the writing up until I'm too long-winded. It would be a waste of the writing if we were just to echo the first war and just go nothing but fighting. Like, no, there's some stuff we need to talk about. We need to like get this stuff out, because I guarantee you, if this war would have reflected the first war, and say we get into, like, say for instance, Dabi dies, Toga ends up dying, Sue dies, a bunch of the people at UA die, someone else dies, but there was none of these talks in between, we would get to the end of the war like, yo, there were so many storylines that we never got resolutions for, all for the sake of people wanting to fight. So it's just like, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now I need to catch back up. Okay, right here. Shigaraki said during the war that heroes and villains are not able to understand one another. However, Toga's individuality stems from a lust of blood that we cannot comprehend. Right. From what I've seen, people completely agree with Deku, but they didn't with Ochako, even when they had the same responses. That's weird. That's so weird. That's so weird. Toga needs to be checked on physically and emotionally. The stream's still going on. Yeah, we clocked in just about an hour. They're shown in Jump to clear this the final arc. I don't think Jump has, but Hori has. What Ochako said isn't even wrong. Jump hasn't declared it, but Hori has. From what I've seen, people completely agree with Deku, but they didn't with Ochako, even though, like, they legit have the same response. That's what's troubling. But those are the same, like, almost everyone, a lot of people think that Ochako is just like Sakura from Naruto. And if you think that, like, what the hell are you reading? What are you watching if you don't read? They're not the same at all. Not one bit. It's so weird. It's so weird. If you're gonna live as you please, then you also have to live with the consequences. That's such like that's from Ochiko's point of view, that's a valid answer. It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like you can't do, and it's like when you're saying these things and you think about Toga, it's like but, and it's just like, it's one of these things where when someone, like in real life, when someone gets in trouble, so like I'll use the NFL for an example. How it's legal to smoke marijuana in almost all of the country now. But if you get a drug test from the NFL and you test and like your urine comes back positive for marijuana, you get suspended. And everyone starts screaming and moaning like, but it's legal. Da-da-da, it's not gonna harm you. It's just like, okay, it's legal. Yes. Maybe it's so socially accepted now. Why are the people still getting in trouble for it? It's the fact of the matter is that this is a rule. We put this rule in place. Is the rule stupid? Yeah, the rule is stupid. But then again, you still broke the rule, so you still have to have consequences. So it's like, yes, Toga, I understand that this whole like blood is love for you and all this. I get it. I understand that. Maybe in a different lifetime, we could have worked through this and gotten a better resolution. But the fact of the matter is, if you cut someone open with a knife, that's attempted murder if they don't die. And you gotta go jail. Like, you have consequences. Like, just because it's one thing for you, doesn't mean that should be like widely accepted. That's something we need to work on. It's like, so it's hard. Toga's the only league member that has a story that the audience cannot understand because it strictly revolves around genetics rather than having a dream crush or an abusive father. Yeah, her struggle comes from ostracization like Spinner, and I cannot wait for his role. Yeah, like I love Toga's story. Like this whole like back and forth with what's right and what's wrong and it's so intriguing to me because I literally can look at it. Mentally ill people still go to jail for committing a crime, right? It's like, just because like there's something wrong with you doesn't mean you didn't break the rules. Like when I see Toga and I hear what Izuku said and I hear what Ochiko said, I'm literally split down the middle. Like, I'm looking at it from Toga's point of view and I'm hurt because that junk has to hurt hearing that. Like, but she's just like, you don't know what I've been through and you say that to me. But then I'm on their side like, Toga, you are a serial killer. Like, you are running around here just murdering people. I see both sides. That's what makes it like so like, I wouldn't say necessarily difficult to like argue the point back and forth, but it's hard to say one person is wrong and one person is right. Because if you say Toga is right, then what is the what is the point of heroes and all of this stuff if she's exempt from it? No way. And it's not like Toga doesn't know that killing people is wrong. Right, Toga 100% knows that killing people is wrong. She just has a compulsion because she can't control herself because no one ever stopped to help her try to control this thing. All they did was tell her to stop. Just stop doing this. Stop. It's not normal. Not normal. It's not normal until she just said, I'm done with this. I'm done. I don't care anymore. Basically, she had a psychosis break in a sense, and she's like, I'm done. I am not doing this anymore. I will not hide myself anymore. And at that point, it's been so long that what could have been nurtured into a sense where she could have controlled it, she doesn't even care to control it anymore. It's like she's very compelling. So it's like she knows she's wrong, but she doesn't care that she's wrong. But I feel like if the right person came in and said the right thing to her at the right time, it would help her out. Toga gets bashed by general audiences who claim she's just a vampire who loves Deku and Ochiko for no real reason. But there's so much more than the surface in these relationships. Absolutely. But that's the whole thing. It's one of those things where when I'm European football is better than American football, don't at me. I think the exact opposite because I grew up with American football. So think the exact opposite. Yes, we get CT and concussions, but I don't have the endurance to run up and down the field chasing a ball. But I love soccer. We call it soccer, but I love football. I like both footballs. I like both. More action in American football, though. More injuries, but more action. I grew up in a football household, so an American football household, so I don't think I'll ever flip-flop. I don't know, it's something about imposing your will, just crashing into another human being at 15 miles an hour. Just it can't be beat. It's a rush. Sorry. Oh damn, I was gonna say something, I forgot. What was I gonna say? Oh, it was gonna take me on another tangent about how I don't know how a lot of other people feel about this, but for me, when I take on the efforts to read a series, so it's like I sit up here and I don't remember everything that's happened in the series. It's like I've read the series, I've understood them at a certain point, but sometimes I can't instantly call it back. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But whenever I'm like, I'm going to watch this show or read this thing, I just can't casually do it. It's one of those things where it's like, if I'm going to waste my time or invest my time into this series, I want to know almost everything I possibly can about the series so that when I'm judging if I like it or not, I'm not missing something that's vital to understanding it. I don't know how a lot of people are in here about that, but that's how I am. So like, I want to know like the intricate details between a character and another character, or how a character feels about this. Because knowing that one little tidbit or knowing all those little tidbits might add up to the fact of a decision that's being made in the series. In series, I might be able to be like, oh snap, that makes sense. And it's weird. I find it weird. I find it weird that people who are casuals will argue about something that they don't 100% understand. And I don't know how to quantify like that. Like, what do you quantify that as? Just ignorance? Like, I could never find myself arguing with someone over something that I don't understand. Because all I'm asking to do is just be made a fool. And I'm not in the business of being made a fool of. Like, if I misunderstand something and someone can correct me, I will humbly take that. It's happened plenty of times on the stream where I've thought something, someone says something else, and I'm like, you know what? I've done that before. But I'm not in the business of opening my mouth and saying something and being just wrong. And then when someone tells me I'm wrong, doubling down on my wrong. Like that feels weird to me. Like that feels really weird. That feels really weird. And I bring that up. It's like judging a character, but you don't understand the character and you don't care to understand the character. So you'd rather judge a character. That's just a reflection of life though. So I just need to let that go. It's like, you won't even bother to try to understand me, but you're still going to judge me. I saw a picture of the woman NFL costume and bro, they don't wear, oh, you're talking about, the lingerie football league. That's what that is. That's not the NFL, but it's like the lingerie football league where all they have is They're basically wearing lingerie, but they have on helmets and shoulder pads and cleats. It's like ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous coming out, but if you watch it, they hit harder than the men do. I'd be looking like, these chicks is crazy. I'm talking about they come in like a banshee and just clean some girl's clock. I'm like, these girls are nuts. You know, don't mess with any of those girls. They play lingerie football. If they play lingerie football, don't talk to none of them. They look good. They look good. Don't talk to them. They're crazy. They be hitting. I'm like, they be hitting, man. Don't talk to them because they're gonna mess your life up. They're crazy. They already get on the field with no clothes on and shoulder pads and helmets. They might as well be naked. If you could run around naked on a football field with shoulder pads and a helmet on, then you're not for me. You're not for me. I'm not doing that. They be hitting though. Look up some highlights of the lingerie football league. Just look at some highlights. Them girls be hitting. They hit more than NFL does now. They be cracking. I'm about to go look up some highlights after this stream. I'm gonna end it here. We've been live for a minute 20. We need a men's lingerie league. running around in a Speedo. But yeah, it's propaganda for degenerates. It is 100%. They be hitting though. I saw some clips. They go hard. They do. I'm like, I couldn't do it. They'd be no regard for human like they don't have any human decency. No way. I see some of the women's the flag leagues, and they be playing harder than the dudes do. I've seen some. They got they have a league where it's full contact but no pads, and they try to promote it as it's safer than NFL because in the NFL a lot of people lead with their helmet because they're wearing a helmet, but in this you're not going to lead with your head because you don't want to hurt yourself. But see some of them clips, them dudes be hitting. They be hitting so hard. I love football. I would get up and swing because they be doing too much. I'm like, you wouldn't have never did that on the football field. You're not like that. I've completely sidetracked. Completely. I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys not this Sunday, but the following Sunday from 3:49. Yeah, rugby, they be hitting, but when they get some space, they be gone too. What's the team that wears all black? I think they're from like New Zealand or Australia or something. They're legit. I don't know their names, but they're like it's like they're like how people in baseball want to play for the Yankees because they want to wear the pinstripes. They're like that. I don't even know what the name of that team is, but I've seen a bunch of highlights on them. But thank you guys. I'm gonna get up out of here. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your weekend, and hopefully, God willing, I see you guys back here next, not this upcoming Sunday, next Sunday for 3:49. So thank you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you. Peace out.